Hello, hello, this is Jelly Bling. I have another project using Painted Lavender Bundle. And I saw this online. Michelle Last made a card very similar to this, and I pretty much copied what she did. Just a few little minor changes, but I love it. And she had hers where you could pull this off and you could put it on as a brooch. And I was trying to do that, but it kept on needing to be stuck down. So mine is permanent. Mine's stuck down. But isn't that just the cutest? So this is today's project. So we'll be using Painted Lavender Bundle, Quiet Meadow, and that's mostly just for the word love. And also in this, there's matching dies that go with this. That's where I got this little tag from, which I use all the time. I love this set. Cheerful Daisies is mostly for the words. I kept on wanting to put on Oops a Daisy So Sorry because I think that is just adorable. But these are lavender. This is lavender. It's not daisy. But the words are great. And then for the dies, Everyday Details is for the word label. Of course, Painted Lavender to cut out all these beautiful pieces. And Meadow dies for the tag. Okay. I'm out of space over here. Do you ever do that? You end up working in just a little space because everything else is just... So here's some pieces, Painted Lavender. It's beautiful. Isn't that pretty? And there's this spread too. So if ever you're wondering, what do I do with this? Just copy one of the samples and you'll end up loving it. It's paired with perennial postage, which has great words, and the little postage dies, those are just great too. More. I think it's page 22 through 25. 4 pages of goodness. Okay, so we will be using the Purple Fine Shimmer Gems, which are these right here. And what's really fun about these is they come in 3 different tones of purple. This one is more like a raspberry, heather, and then just a lighter than heather color. Obviously I used these, which have a little bit more of a pink tone to them, a red tone, so maybe I'll use one of the other ones, but they're all beautiful. We'll do those in a minute. A little bit of heat embossing. Oh, and I wanted to make sure to give Michelle Last, the designer for this project, a thank you. Give her credit. Okay, so this is for stamping. And you know, hold on. I will tell you the paper cut sizes as we go along. And at the end, I'll hold up the project and this little paper so you could do a screenshot. And then I'll also put them on my blog, which is jellybling.com. So we'll stamp on here in just a minute. This is for making the paper, what do you call that? Flower holder? Paper sleeve to put the cut flowers in. And this is for cutting all the greenery. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so here we go. This is for the words. The words are 1 inch by, I just had strips, and this was just conveniently cut off of this piece right here. So that is 3 3/4, but just any size that's big enough to hold your word label. Okay. Let's set that to the side. Let's just get to building the card, going through the pieces, and then we'll jump in. So, gray granite card base, 5.5 by 8.5. We'll use the time-worn embossing folder in just a minute. 2 pieces of white, one for right here, one for the inside. Those are 5 by 3 3/4. This piece here is going to layer right on top after I texture it, and that is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. So I will texture this. So that just gets layered onto there. Okay, and the words we talked about is 1 inch strips. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. And Versamark and then it'll go into white powder. So, wishing you the brightest birthday. And then while I'm at it, I'll do the love for the tag. Oh, my scratch paper is dirty. You're going to see stuff. Okay, so when you cut out paper, do you do this much math? After I use the paper here, I take it over where I do my cutting, and yeah, lots of math. That looks like a lot of chicken scratch. I love how delicate this card is. White embossing powder. The basic embossing powders right now, I guess they're having a quality issue, and they will return in hopefully fall. So let's hope you had a good stash, because it's gone for a little while. Metallics are fine. So now for the dies. Here is from Everyday Details, and I love the little dots on the inside of that one. So that will cut out the words. And then this little tag is from Quiet Meadow. So I have those ready to roll. Okay, what else do we have here? So this paper to cut out all the greenery, it's in Mossy Meadow. And this paper is 3 5/8 by 8 1/2. The paper cone for the flowers is 3 by 5. And the paper for stamping is 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, should we start with the cone? So the cone, I was trying to figure out how to do it, and you should see on my little scratch notes, I was using that yucky paper to kind of come up with a plan. Oh, and this is from Flightnary, free paper. So to start out, and there might be an easier way to do this, but this worked well. So fold it in half, then this fold is going to be right here. This side is going to stay a little bit more of a soft fold. So this, just kind of wrap it around, maybe put an angle at the bottom here. And every one will be different. Maybe I should do it like a 45-degree angle. Okay. So the fold is just, the crease is just at the bottom. The rest of it is pretty much flat. Okay, so then this one gets wrapped in, and then this one goes around. Okay, that's great, but I want it to be a little bit bigger, and I like this layer of the designer paper showing, so I'm going to ease up this one a bit. See what I mean by it's just kind of random. Then once you get it right about where you like it, we are going to take a sponge dauber and darken the exposed pieces. So across the top and right here. So at this point, I will darken all this right here, this bit right here, in Pecan Pie. Oh, and the colors we're using, I will show you. I didn't, let me hold on. I always forget this part. Okay, you ready to take a picture? These are the sizes of the paper to make this card. And hold on. I have Roomba coming out, and I don't want Roomba to come out. Roomba's noisy. Okay, so we're going to use boho and orchid. Gorgeous grape. Pecan pie. Mossy meadow. Fresh freesia and Highland heather. So right now, pecan pie. Pecan. However you say it, it's good. And a dauber. And let's see what pieces were there. So I'm going to, all this right here, just make it a little bit darker. You know, a little vintagey. Oh, that's a lot darker right there, but that's okay. We're going to do more here in just a minute, but for now, that's it. Okay, then use a dimensional, and we're going to kind of lock it in place. Then we're going to trim it. Oh, host code. Here's a host code. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like to order this bundle, I would love to send you card kits for free. So this is number 2, and this is the first one. So if you order between now and March 7th, I will send you 3 card kits in the mail for free. Everything that I can do, I will do for you. But then you'll have the bundle, so you can finish it up however you like. Okay, so this I want it right about here. You're like, well, that didn't fold good, but because it's a soft fold, I could kind of stretch it out. So to confirm that, another dimensional, and get that right about there. So it's right about here, just anywhere. And I'm going to take this and form it to the shape I want. Okay. Down there it would have been better a little bit tighter because there's a little bit of a hole. Like if that was an ice cream cone, you'd be dripping ice cream. Okay, so you're like, well, that doesn't look the same, but I'm going to take my scissors and just cut right across here. Like, what? And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be filled with lovely flowers. And see that one, it's kind of swooped down, but that's okay. So now I'm going to take my sponge dauber. I don't like this point showing. Yeah, I think it's okay. I'm going to take my sponge dauber and put color here at the top. Okay, cone done. Okay, done with pecan pie. So to make the inside, at first I was getting a piece of, we had to stamp our prettiness. I'll come right back to this. I'm going to use it as an insert, but I'll mention that in just a minute. Okay, so to do the stamping, where's the stamp set? On this project, there's only 2 of the flowers, actually 3 that we're going to be using. This long one and this narrow one, and then this grouping of 4. On the inside, we will use this one and this one, but not too many. There's a lot of options. I mean, this is a great bundle. You could go crazy with ideas with it. So on the paper, I have a little cheat sheet of what's needed to make this project. And that's right here. So this is for the inside. These 3 are for the bouquet. These 3 are for a little bit of color in the back of the bouquet, which is this one. And these, 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 have an accent of color using this narrow one. And any color combination you like is good. I tried all kinds of color combinations. There was no wrong. Everything I did is like, oh, that's pretty. But I'll just, for today, I'll copy this. So this is freesia and heather. So there's heather and freesia. And this is for the inside. And since I have freesia out, I might as well do this long one. Okay, done with freesia. Now, this one has heather. See how there's two different colors of purple in there? So I'm going to stamp with heather using this stamp here. And I'm going to do 4 stamps on little branch 1, 3, 4, and 6. And you could do it anywhere. And I'm trying to line up this top little flower with that top little flower. And I don't care what it looks like down at the bottom because that's all going to be cut off. And I could do every single one. I tried that. I think I threw it away. But it was just too busy. This is still kind of busy. Okay, so just like that. You're like, okay. So heather, since I have heather out, these 2 base is done with heather. Oh, yesterday, I planned on doing this video yesterday, and I had it all sitting out. So usually when I start, I have the sample here, and the stamp sets here, and then off to the side, I have all these little pieces that you notice they just come into play. Yesterday didn't turn out like planned. So my car, it had the check engine light. It came on one time, and my car was going, and I said, Mama, what's going on? She goes, you're over on the curb on the side. And I'm like, oh, well, no, I'm not. And she goes, oh, I don't know. So then I was all nervous. And so I turned off the engine, and we sat there like, what do I do? So then I waited just a minute. And it's like, well, it was still driving. So I might as well get like the 1 mile ahead so I'm into town. Okay, so I turned it on. The light went off. I'm like, oh, okay. And it wasn't doing that thing. Okay, so I thought, well, maybe it's a one-time fluke. But you know, the rest of the day I'm like, is it doing it? If I went over one of those little reflector bumps in town, was that it? No, it's just fine. Okay, so made it. We're good. But of course I mentioned it to Tony and I took a picture on the dash. What's going on? And it was fine. So then the next day, went out and it did it like 10 minutes, like right after it gets warmed up. It's probably well warmed up, like 10 minutes after driving. And so I'm like, okay, do I just turn it off like I did before? Okay, so I'm going to use Orchid for the center of these 2. Okay, anyhow, so Tony goes, okay, I'll take it in. So he took it in and they did that diagnostic where they hook up your car to the machine. And they said, oh, it's just one of the cylinders is gone or it's not getting spark or something like that. So it's nothing drastic, which means, I guess if I want, I could drive it, just fearing that it might do that thing. That's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Okay, but while Tony was driving it in, guess what it did? Yeah, so he knew what I was talking about. Not that he ever doubts me, but you know, you know. Okay, so it's like, well, anyhow, yesterday, another thing is, do you name your cars? Just because Emma named her car Preston, of course I had to try to keep up with the kids, and I named, okay, next is Grape in here, Grape right here, and Boho here. Anyhow, when we got this car, which was during COVID, you remember with COVID how they sent you that big old check right at the beginning? With that check, we bought a car, SUV. Always loved that. And everything on the readouts was like, hook it up to Jared's phone. Do you want to listen to Jared's playlist? It's like, I don't know who Jared is. Obviously the previous owner. It's like, no. Anyhow, this car I have is now called Jared. Yeah, Jared had a tune-up yesterday. So you're like, well, that doesn't take all day. Then we have propane, and we're having propane. We have a tank. We have our own tank. Having it filled. We're waiting and waiting, and Tony's like, well, I was hoping that the guy would be here while I was at lunch. No. And he tried calling. Oh, we can't contact the driver. Tony's like, I'm a bus driver. I know you can. Anyhow, it was 4:30. Still hadn't showed up. There's no way to contact him, obviously. So they say. So he called and he said, we've been waiting all day. So because of that, it's like I kept on being on hold. Okay, this is just like this. Yay! So I didn't get anything done. I was just sitting here doing stuff that I could easily be interrupted. That's no fun. I got stuff done that I really didn't want to do, like finishing up Christmas card boxes. A project box with stuff in it. Finished up one of them. Lots of little cutting and assembling and sponging. That was good. But all this just sat here. It was driving me crazy. Every time I came in and looked in here, it's like, oh, I want to work on lavender. This is for the inside. Little double bow. Okay, so dies. Let's do, are those pretty? Just a beautiful set. This one here, it's going to cut off a lot from the bottom. This one, okay, I'll show you what my little notes mean here in a minute. You could cut out any amount of greenery and just put it in. It all looks good. This one, and this one, greenery, and a second one of these, and more greenery. Okay, so this, you could see, those all get cut out. And this one here, the greenery, we'll need 3 of those. This little branch with kind of the bubbles on it, or the new growth little buds, we'll need 3 of those. And then this one down here, which is a twofer, that's this big one. We need 2 of those. We're only going to use 3 of the stems, and there's 2 on there, so we have to cut it out twice. Okay, you ready? I'm ready. Just take this paper. Okay, here we go. Beautifulness. That's the makings of a beautiful card. And here we go. Okay, so these are the long ones, and there's 3 of them here. And do you notice that they're a little bit different? This one has some flower spots on it. This one has lots of them. These are the ones with the little buds. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on these and stick the flowers down. I had one done in orchid. I might try that. Orchid, which one should I take away? How about I'd take away, well, how blue do you want yours? I'll make this one extra blue. So I'll now put these on. Okay, so, oh, back to the cone, because we're going to start building the bouquet that goes in here. So I would say you can just put all your pieces in, oh, and have some sticking out the bottom here, maybe. So you know I was talking about the ice cream cone dripping. See, I thought that was, oops, because I want a few little sprigs going through here. I don't see light down there at the end of the tunnel. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that in a minute. Okay, so I would say you could just take off your pieces and start putting them in here, but before you know it, it's like everything is fallen, it's falling out. You're not really able to assemble your little bouquet. So, how convenient is this? Yeah! That could go in there, and of course I'm going to trim it. But look how almost perfect that is. And it matches. So to do that, we'll be using glue. At first, I have all these little triangles cut out of crumb cake paper. I was like, oh, that's the wrong size. Oh, right here. And I made it 2.5 by 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. This works much better. Just do it this way. Just take your little scraps you cut off. Put it together. Perfection is not needed at all. Let that dry just a little bit. And it's going to jump into there, and I'll trim it off. Okay, so now to start doing our arrangement. It's nice when you have something in front of you to kind of copy. Oh, I had to put these together. I'll start with that. I think that's the only thing that needs to be put together. So, 3, 4 drops of glue. 1, 2, and I'm just aiming for the high ones at this point, because the rest of it in the bouquet is going to be filled up with greenery. And even if I took the time to put them on there, you can't see them. Okay. And I'll adjust those in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just a flower holder, just so you have flowers sticking out. Okay, let's see about these. That one stick down. And even if some greenery is showing, when you look at the sample, there's a whole lot of greenery going on the back. The background greenery. Okay. You all could dry just a little bit. Oh, and then take 2 little bits, because all that's going to be tucked into our little flower cone. Might be better with 3 bits. Three bits. And those are going to go right into here, kind of sticking out. Not precise at all, because Mother Nature doesn't do stuff precise. And after I get them in there, I'll put a little bit more glue and then adjust their placement. Okay, so there's 3 little bits in there. Yeah, little random looking. Oh, I like the long one at the bottom. Okay, that's random. And the glue will dry clear, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, you little pieces. Just so you could see them, all 3 of them. Okay, dry. Dry. Okay, so to build our bouquet, this needs a trim. Also, that lets me know where the edge of the paper cone is. Maybe I should sponge it. Probably not needed, but just in case you see it. There we go. Okay, so to build it, if you can, have the picture pulled up and kind of zoom in on placement, just because it will kind of help out. Otherwise, it becomes intimidating. Maybe you all who do flowers all the time, you're better with it, but oh my gosh, I was dinking around with this for the longest time. So one of these I'm going to cut off right here, just to kind of stretch it a bit. And this one could go here. And if needed, I know I could pull that up and move it somewhere else. This is just a little sprig I'm thinking maybe over here. So I'll start with these as the background. Isn't that pretty? This one may be shorter. And this one could be tall. And that's another thing. When Michelle did her card, hers was straight up and down because hers was a little bit shorter. Mine didn't fit straight up and down because this is way down here and that's way up there, but I like it. Okay, and then this one, not sure about where that little piece will go yet. Then let's put these on. We need one tall one. This one could be the tall one. This one can be, it's kind of getting really blue over there. And this one can be over here. See, that's pretty already. Then, this is for the inside. That we're not using. Oh, we have more greenery pieces. There, now you can see it. Some of these I might have to use glue to stick them on, because I want this one right here. Maybe I shouldn't glue it until I have a plan, but can't do wrong. It's all just pretty stuff. And then this one, there's a hole right here. Okay, we're getting there. Now, finally, just these three pieces. So I have two that are, hold on. Oh, it has tape on it, but it's going to be tucked in. So we have two that are in the bluer tones, one is more purple. The more purple one can go like right about here. Then this one can go here. And then this one right about here. Maybe lower so that the blue flowers show. This one can be a little taller. Okay, can you tell how loose it is? It's like, yeah, but you're covering up those flowers. But that's what a bouquet is. There. That grape one, it's getting some of the spotlight. But now I have a gap. Okay. There it is. Okay, and now these are being kind of loose because so much stuff is already attached to the adhesive. This one still needs to go on. So, dimensionals, here we come. I'm going to put dimensionals on top to hold pieces in place, and on the underside, because see how this is a bit of a cup? And I don't want it completely flat. Oh, and did you notice this folded piece? It doesn't even look like that's a crisp, nice edge. It's part of the paper cone. Okay, so the ones that are loose, that are hiding in this little paper guide, they're going to be stuck on with dimensionals. Because they're hiding. We won't see all of these dimensionals. It's kind of locking things in place too. Okay, that's good. And I'll put more dimensionals underneath some of the flowers after it's on the card. So this one, we probably don't need more, but because I have it, oh, it's kind of nice, like getting in the way of the flowers. But I don't know about this bend in it. How about like right there? Okay, that's good. All of you that have done flower arranging, you know exactly what to do. I don't. I don't know. Okay, so this I think is doing pretty good. Oh yeah. My cone is a little lopsided. Oh, when I smush it, it's flatter. Okay, so with that, I'm going to put dimensionals down here. Maybe some here. I don't want them to peek through. But I want the cone to remain somewhat rounded. Okay, and then after I get this put in to here using these dimensionals to stick it in, I'm going to stick some dimensionals back here. Okay. So there it is. Now I'm a little short in greenery over here. Ooh, look at that. That'll do. Now, to kind of lock it into place, I'll put maybe 3 dimensionals right in here. That makes it a little flatter too. This card, you'll have to hand deliver it. There's no mail in this thing. It would get even smushed more. Oh, pretty. Okay, let's do the wavy trim around the outside and the little tag right here. So this little tag gets a piece of linen thread. So to do that, take just a bit and fold it in half and then pop the loop from the front to the back. And then loop it through. You could tie a big old knot or a big old bow, but it's really hard when you're working with little bits. Okay, and so I'm going to have the knot right here in the middle. So this is going to go right here. And this is some advice from someone who did it the wrong way. So at first I put the wavy trim around the paper holder, flower holder thingy. And then I took these little tails and tried to tuck them up underneath. When I show you the sample close up, you'll say, yeah, those are kind of ugly. Because I had the glue dot on it and I was trying to push those little tails, but it works with the card and all. It's fine, because this is a great use of like warmer neutrals and cooler neutrals. So it all works out, but hindsight, that's better. And then the wavy trim, I have a little hint for this too. I'll measure this. Because trying to tie it, not that I tried it, haha. Trying to tie it around a cone, no good. It's hard, it's just hard. Okay, so you're like, but you don't know if that's long enough. I cut off 6 inches. And now I'm gonna take a block. You have a smaller block? Or how about here? Just something small. something smaller. And tie a knot. That's kind of really small. Okay, got the knot on there. And if I made it too small, which I might have done, these will be my on the outside tails. So these are the ones that I just cut. So will that go around? It might. Okay, if it doesn't, flip it over, we'll use the long ones. No one knew. It's just fine. So glue dot under the knot. That goes right here. Kind of want it off-centered this time. And then these just get wrapped around with a glue dot. 2 glue dots. And I'm just guessing where they'll go. Maybe. Because I'm going to put dimensionals on the back here to put it onto the card front. So even if I don't get it exactly right, I'll confirm it's sticking with dimensional. Okay, that one worked out. This one is a little bit high. I kind of like the asymmetrical. Okay, and there's that. Here's these. Since I took the time to do them, I want them to show just a little bit more. And then you could leave your love kind of dangling, but I'm going to do a dimensional. Because see how it's falling straight down? I want it to kind of be off to the side a bit. You don't have to. You can leave it dangling so it's a little bit more 3D-like. Okay. And this is for the inside. This is for the inside. Let's build this card. Time worn. I love that embossing folder. Especially for kind of vintagey things. So that's going to go on this white layer. And I should look at the time-worn print because there's letters on here. Hope I see the word harvest. Okay, this is right. Because last thing I want to do is somebody with really good eyes to say, your words are upside down. Then dimensionals to kind of pop it up. One more, right in the middle, just 'cause. Okay, and then this is going to go on right about here. Yeah, it's taken up every little bit of real estate there on the card front. So that's going to go on with dimensionals. And just because I don't want these to let loose, I'll put my dimensionals over at least some of the wavy trim. I know I'm going to put some back here just to hold all the pieces in place. I'll probably tuck some more in. This is like dimensional, just have a whole pack ready and you'll be fine. One more. And I'm making sure they're hidden underneath the flowers or the greenery. Isn't that cute? This one is way over. Okay. Oh, cute, cute, cute. And I'm going to put, just because there's a whole lot popping up here, just a few more. Probably need to put a lot more, but I like it popping up a bit. Oh, that one's really sticking down. Okay, good enough. Oops. Okay, so for the words, wishing you the brightest birthday. That will go right here. Dimensionals and glue. So 2 dimensionals. A little dimensional on the end. And liquid glue. First I didn't put that little dimensional on there. And it looked funny. The glue was holding it down, but this was taller than the dimensional, and it kind of looked like it was going uphill. But this one will hold it right in place. Oh, glue. Next is bling. Fine shimmer purple gems. Oh yeah. Aren't these pretty? You know, so this one I used, these down here, which have more of a red tone. This bouquet has more of a blue tone, so maybe I'll use, I don't know, the lighter, the middle ones. Use whichever ones you like. So I'm going to put 5 on, because this is a special card. 1, 2. Here's some little ones. Whoops. 3, and I'm trying to keep them up here in the bouquet so they kind of look like, oh, is that another little flower? 3, 4, 1 more. Maybe I should put one in here. It gets lost, but it's really pretty right there, right there. Yeah. Okay, 5. Okay, so for the inside, we have our inside paper. Inside, in Orchid, your friendship means everything. Happy birthday. Your friendship means everything. I like that. But before I stamp that, because this one, if you flip it over, the white paper, I did a whoops. So it's really convenient that I have this already done. Because that will go right here with the bow on it. But let's do the greenery. Because this little stamp to do the bottom greenery is just as cute as could be. When I did the first one, it's like, oh, you don't see very much of those long stems. And at the top, here, I'll show you in a minute. So the answer to the question is put it up a little bit high, just because it's so cute. And it's okay if it's off to, I didn't get a good stamp. I'll try. Whichever one ends up best, I'll use that. It's okay if your flowers are off to the side just a little bit, because there's a big old border around the white paper insert. Okay, so that one, okay, see how cute that is? Yeah. And then, when this goes right up on top of there, this goes right here. So now your green, kind of more of a broad leaf, those are going to be poking out of the top. And at first I didn't have room for them, so that's why I kind of dropped it up. Well, you'll see. When you start playing around with it, you'll be like, yep, it's got to go right there. So, and these are going to, the end of the branch is going to come right down into here, which is fine. But it's a very pretty leaf. So yeah, it went way down into here. But you want them to show. Ooh, that one is a tall one. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay, so we're done with Mossy Meadow. So now this will go wherever you like, because that's so cute. How about right there? Okay, so the top is going to get 2 dimensionals, the bottom is going to get a little glue. Dimensionals on the inside of your card If you want to, you can. Like I said, it's a hand deliver card. It's special. A little bit of glue. And see how my flowers are sticking out over the edge? That's okay because there's this big border of granite gray. Okay, so when I was looking at this, is like, well, that looks a little ugly. Therefore, here's a little bow. Glue dots. I'm gonna take a glue dot and probably fold it in a quarter. So, just because the linen thread is so little. In half. In half. That's more like a glue glob. Put it on. Okay. Oh, look how pretty. And then, you know how I do. Just a little bit of liquid glue to soak into the linen thread because I want to make sure it stays right there in place. Just a little bit. So the thing is, now can I put this on the inside of the card, or am I going to stick my card closed? I might have to pause for a minute. But I think that's it for this project. So here's, oh, we have to do the words. After I put the bow on, I hope that I do it. Okay, fingers crossed. No upside down words. No bad stamped words. So where are they going to go? Be cute kind of here, but I'm thinking up here. Or it could go down there. Okay, I'm going to be artsy. Okay. Oh, yes. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love our hobby. Okay, so the glue is still wet on here. And I know that there's a big border. So, there's ways around things. Okay, so that is it for, ooh, and it barely closes. I might have to put like liquid glue to hold these down. No, it's okay. Okay, that's it for today's project. Thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.